Okay, so welcome to video lecture number 2. What are we studying? That's a really good question. Let's find out. Okay, so the chapter 1 question is, how did the rock of the Great Plains and the Rocky Mountains form? So we're going to be spending this unit talking about why the Great Plains and the Rocky Mountains have similar mineral compositions and how that happened. Okay, so you're going to read the 2 claims the students made about the rocks and the similar mineral compositions. All right, so our 2 claims are claim 1, they formed as one rock formation and then something separated them. Okay, I like that. And claim number 2 is one rock formation formed before the other, then the minerals from the old rock became part of the younger rock. So we're going to be talking about 2 different kinds of rocks and if that is why and all that good stuff. So here we go. To evaluate these claims, we'll first try to figure out how these rocks formed. Thank you. So these are our 2 options of how they could have formed. All right, thinking about claim 1. If the rock in the Great Plains and the Rocky Mountains formed as one rock formation, this means they started off as one region of rock that formed together at the same time as a single rock type. Over time, something may have separated the region. These are big hints. Over time and something and separated. Big hints. Okay, claim number 2. Let's think about this. If one rock formed before the other and the minerals from the old rock became part of the younger rock, that means minerals from the rock in one area transformed into the rock of the other area. Let's start thinking about how we make rocks. Okay, so next you'll make observations on 4 hand samples of rock. Studying them will help you learn how to gather evidence from these kinds of samples. So normally these would be sitting on your table. These hand samples represent different types of rock that are commonly found on Earth. You have probably seen a lot of rocks in your life and are familiar with many types of rock. Like everything in your room, including your chair and the air around us, rocks are made of matter. That's right, you matter because you're made of matter. Um, all rocks or everything is matter. So matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. So therefore, all rocks are made of matter. All rocks are matter because they have mass and take up space. Wow, this is repetitive. More specifically, rocks are made of minerals, and minerals are a kind of matter. Different rocks have different amounts of and types of minerals. A rock's characteristics depend on what minerals it is made of and how that rock transformed. Okay, the rocks you'll be observing are called samples, and a sample is a small part that is meant to show what the whole is like. You know, when you go to Costco and they give you all those free samples, well, they used to. I don't think that will ever exist again. There you go. So, a hand sample is a piece of rock that you can hold in your hand or analyze in a lab that can give you information about the rock formation it came from and the environment the rock was formed in. Geologists collect and study hand samples because they can be used to understand which minerals are in the rock formation and how the rock formation formed. Whew, that's a mouthful. So these are actually really useful tools to understand what's going on around us, and they're small enough that we can carry them. So a rock formation is a region of rock that forms together as a single rock type. So it happened all at once, or not all at once, but it happened at the same time, apparently, approximately. Okay, so each of the colors are group of layers you see in the Grand Canyon is a rock formation. So the Grand Canyon has lots and lots of layers of rock formation. A sample is a small piece of a single rock formation, such as a piece of sandstone in the image. So I would go and I would actually probably grab little samples from each one of these stripes if possible. Okay, so remember, you can look up vocabulary words in your glossary to help you understand what they mean. You're going to find the glossary in our Google Classroom and the resources for rock transformations. They're there. It is important for geologists to make detailed observations of the rock samples. On the following slide, you will find the Geologist's Detailed Observation Guide. You will keep these guidelines in mind as you observe hand samples. So, okay, this is when I would usually clap into the microphone or clap in the class and say, okay, this is time to wake up and pay attention because we're about to go into super, super important stuff. Okay, so this is something you're going to be using in the next activity. Geologist Detailed Observation Guidelines. Observe the number of colors and grains in the rock. So you're going to grab a magnifying glass and you're going to look at all the tiny little details. You're going to observe the sizes and shapes of the grains. So all those tiny little specks within it, how big or small are they? You're going to observe what the grains look stuck, or the grains, whether the grains look stuck together or fitted together like puzzle pieces. So do they kind of look like they were glued together like a toddler did it, or are they wonderfully pieced together and they look like they fit? And then you're going to observe the rock's texture, including how hard it is. Can I pick at it and little pieces will fall off, or can I bang it and nothing's going to happen? And then you're going to notice whether there are unusual features in the rock, such as bubbles or even fossils. Nice. So you're going to go to the observation hand samples of the rock activity. This is the attachments of your Google Classroom lesson. There you go. So as you watch the video, record your observations. You may need to watch the video a few times to make your observations. So there's a link in the video right here on the sheet that you're going to get is also in this lesson. Basically, what you need to focus on is writing down your observations, and then you might want to do it on a piece of paper and then transfer it onto this just so you're not flipping back and forth. And you are going to watch a video with the class, or not with the class, but next you're going to watch a video and make some observations.